Hey guys, this is Kirop speaking, and today we are going to talk about 3 topics in this little dev update. Topic number 1, changing fixtures, as in changing the variant of the fixture when the fixture already is on the car. Second topic is the economy fixes I've been working on, and CAS has been implemented, so we are going to take a quick look at that. And then topic number 3, I've made a little mock-up UI of the market tab in the final testing tab. And that needs some discussion, and that will be it. So let's get right into topic number 1. With the first topic, there's not much to discuss. I have designed this amazingly beautiful front end of a car with the frowny brows, and what I'm going to do now is the following. I just select this fixture we have here, and then I can do the following. And it switches the variant, and that without moving the fixture or deleting it or anything else. So that is pretty nifty and will be very useful. So we can change all the kinds of different fixtures, making it even... Ooh. No, this is looking completely awful. Not that it didn't do that in the first place, but you get what I'm going at here. So this will be a lot of nice usability stuff here. So now you not only can clone your car and start on a new version having all the fixtures in place, but you also can make a chrome version of that same car, which will be awesome. Topic number 2 are the economy calculations, and we have found an issue with those after several people complained that these numbers were inaccurate, and they were right about that. So we found a bug, and the bug was in the choice of gear the game made for you for the different speeds we are benchmarking. There are 5 speeds to benchmark, and the game checks how much power you need in order to drive at that speed, to cruise at that speed, and how much energy that requires, and of course it takes into account the RPM you're running at, the engine efficiency at that RPM, and rolling resistance, air resistance, everything like this, but also it takes into account the amount of power the engine potentially has at that RPM, and the inefficiencies in pumping which come from the low throttle position. On top of that, we add several acceleration maneuvers. For example, in the 30 bracket of speeds, you have 200 acceleration maneuvers from 30 to 50 kilometers an hour. And that is then added up to the cruising economy requirement. And then the game sees which one is the lowest possible value and then chooses the gear according to that. This is done for every speed, and then these numbers are added up with the factors you see at the side here. And that gives the final value for the economy. Pretty accurate, and most of the time it will be the highest gear that is available. And that means that it has to be above engine idle. Yes, we do calculate engine idle in the game. It is not displayed anywhere, which maybe will change, but the higher the cam, for instance, the higher your idle, and so on. The third and final topic of the day is a mock-up UI of the market section in the final testing tab that I've been working on. This is part of a pre-prototyping we are doing for the first vestiges of the Tycoon part of the game. And this, what you're seeing here now, is my first little draft of what it could look like. This is of course done in InDesign, so I hope I did a reasonable job of making it look like it could be in-game. But we do have a selection here. Let's start at the upper left, and we have a selection for your sales price up there, which you probably can then type in yourself as well and use the arrows right left to increase or decrease in various granularity. Then of course we have the region of choice that will probably not be selectable first off, but in the campaign of course that needs to be selectable depending on what region you want to sell your car in. You have to choose that. And then there are 3 different modes. What you are currently seeing here would be the desirability and affordability mode, while there also are the prestige and reputation mode, which focuses on your brand, and the demographics and trends mode, which uses kind of they use the same display layout, and so that you always find the different demographics in the main field at the same place, but they show different numbers. So to illustrate this, let's take a look at the numbers for the desirability and affordability, and let's take a look at one out of the 60 demographics. For example, the one family utility category, which has a white frame all the way to the upper left. All the numbers are the same, by the way, because this is a a mock-up, and I didn't want to change 240 values for that, just for be a mock-up. Alright, so what is displayed here? It's pretty simple. So the upper left value is the desirability, the like raw value you get there. Then in the upper right you have the raw affordability, as in the number, the percentage of people within that demographic that can afford to buy this car. Then you have in the lower left the percentage relative to the best suited car in existence in that region, and 79.1% is then referring to the desirability, as it's below the desirability. So it has 79.1% of the best rated cars desirability, and 95.6% of the best rated cars reliability relative to that. So this should be pretty handy, but also, like, you cannot have a look at all the numbers and just say, yo, this is obvious, I'm scoring this and that in this category. 240 values are pretty difficult to overlook, or they're quite easy to overlook actually. And what I've done here, as you can see, is coloring the background of the fields according to how good the car is supposed to be. For instance, I've now these colors would correspond to roughly a family-friendly SUV type of car, and you can see the blue backgrounds, the intense blue backgrounds, and specifically the ones with a white outline. The top 3 categories for your car are highlighted. And then you see what other categories you're scoring well in, with a diminishing color in blue, and those categories which you have your worst scores in are getting more gray, and then slightly red, and then pretty red. So that should give you a quick overview of how your car performs and how desirable it is, and then you can change your pricing up on top and see how that affects things, and how many more people can afford it through different prices. And then you can compare to your total costs and production units and so on. And that will give you a good indication for your future pricing, which is not set in here. This is just for testing so that you still can change your design, but very useful, I think. Then let's take a quick look at the other modes. The different fields will not change, but when you go into a different mode, for example the prestige and reputation mode, in the top left you will have the brand prestige, in the top right you will have the brand reputation, in the lower left you will have the model prestige, and in the lower right you will have the model reputation. And in the demographics and trends mode, you would have the demographics size, as in how many people are in there, and to the right of it you would have the year-over-year change of that demographic size in number of people, percentage-wise. And then in the lower section you have the size as in the buying power, as in the average affordability ranking for those, like the average budget for the demographic, times the number of people. And on the right hand side, again, the year-over-year change for that, so that you can kind of design into trends. And that should be very helpful as well. Okay guys, that is everything for today. Hope you enjoyed, and talk to you next time. Cheers!